To always get the latest Game Tea, do not forget to follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook at The Game Tea Podcast, and you can find us on Twitter at Game Tea Podcast X. We post memes, gaming news, retweet friends of the pod, and of course let you know when new episodes are available for your listening pleasure. Links are all available in the description of this episode, so check them out after the show, and thank you so much for listening to the Game Tea Podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Game Tea Podcast. My name is JP.
Zach, come on, we've rehearsed this. I'm Peaches.
Was I slow or was he slow?
And I'm Czar.
Luigi.
Mario.
Zach, first of all, still question marking his name.
Mario.
So once again, as a little bit of a celebration for just a good week and a good podcast in general, our good friend Zach is back. Zach, how you doing?
I am still good, I think.
You think? I'll take ambiguity.
There you go with the question marks again.
How good are you guys still?
Well, I'm still doing perfectly all right. I'm having a good day, especially because we've got a really, really cool segment that we're doing today, and I'm really excited to talk about it. So I guess we'll just jump right in and get going, because we've already got a little bit of a hype up from the last episode. So today, we are doing, what the fuck did we name this segment?
Picking play for patrons.
Picking plays for patrons. Okay, so recently we picked up a couple of new patrons. One of the patrons we actually know somewhat well. They essentially suggested, hey, I just picked up a PlayStation. I've also picked up a huge stack of games, and I'm trying to decide what to play first. Could you guys decide for me? And we were like, oh, could we decide for you?
Someone wants our opinion?
Nobody ever wants our opinion. That's fantastic.
What a great change of pace.
Yeah, like about time we get the respect we deserve around here.
Well, deserve is a pretty strong word.
Put the respect on our name.
Put respect on the name. That's right, Zach. All right, so picking plays for patrons. That is exactly how it sounds. Essentially what we are doing is we are taking a look at this specific patron's big list of games that he is trying to narrow down to figure out what his play is going to be, and we are going to be doing a 4-round bracket-style breakdown of these games to see what deserves to be the next play on that list. So before we even get started, we've got a somewhat diverse list of games here, and a couple of games made it to the second round automatically, which we'll get into. But before anything, Peaches, would you like to make a quick take of all the games that are going to be included on this list?
All right, so first of all, shout out to our patron, my Uncle Joel.
Joel, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, my man.
Go Uncle Joel, which is really funny for our first round.
Yeah, no kidding. That's a little ironic.
Spoilers!
Yeah, that's a little teaser for, upcoming in like 2 minutes.
For 30 seconds from now, I apologize.
All right, so the list of games we are working with is NBA 2K21, Resident Evil 2, Star Wars Squadrons, Last of Us Part 2, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, The Last of Us Remastered, Spider-Man, the Marvel's Spider-Man for PS4, Red Dead Redemption 2, Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition, Days Gone, Batman Arkham Knight, Spider-Man Morals Mariachi. Is that the other one, JP?
Yep, you did perfect, buddy. Keep
Okay.
going. You're doing great, sweetie.
And then Madden 21 and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So very, very diverse picks here.
It is a very diverse list of games. Joel's got a really great taste in games. I'll give him that.
I mean, yeah, look at this is about as diverse as you can get.
Our job on this podcast today is, like I said, bracket style. We're going in pairs, and we're figuring out what deserves to be the first play on his wonderful brand new PlayStation 5. So that is our goal for today. We're going to go bracket by bracket. Now, we mentioned before that there are 2 games that automatically made it to round 2. The Witcher 3 and Red Dead Redemption 2 are obviously cut above the rest games compared to a lot of the other items that we have on the list. Not all of them, but a good amount of them. So those automatically move on to the second round. And plus, it'll be easier for us to narrow down a lot of the games that were actually included in the first round. So, I think we just start from pairs and start at the top of round 1. Zach, Peaches, Czar, are you boys ready to get started?
Let's get going.
Let's pick a game.
Wait a second. You guys told me this would be Nintendo.
We lied.
You're not going anywhere, Zach. I know where you live.
Okay.
It's too late. You fell into our trap card.
Yu-Gi-Oh! What is happening?
Welcome to the Shadow Realm, bitch.
Round 1.
All right. So for the very top of the bracket, we've got a pretty solid pairing here. We've got The Last of Us versus The Last of Us Remastered, I should say, versus The Last of Us Part 2. I think the choice here is pretty obvious. Correct me if I'm wrong. You can't play The Last of Us Part 2 until you've played The Last of Us Remastered.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, this is a quickie.
I'm just thinking, when's the last time they remade The Last of Us? Like, come on, they need to go ahead and remake it
The Last
again.
of Us remastered.
It's coming. It's coming.
The Last of Us was created in 2013. The Last of Us Remastered came out 11 months later, so...
Yeah, we need at least 4 more remasters of that remaster.
At least.
True. And then a remake. And then a remaster of the remake.
And then a redefinition.
All right, bringing it all back. We have no argument of The Last of Us Remastered ascending to the second round, correct?
Yep, count it up. Last of Us Remastered going to round 2. You got it, Peaches?
I am doing it.
So next up, Star Wars Squadrons versus Madden 21. Now, I feel like there is a legit argument to be made here. Who wants to get started with it?
I feel like, as a brief example, Peaches made the best argument that I wanted to build off of before we actually started talking about this. So I'm going to let Peaches take the floor here.
All right, so the thing is, neither of these games are like very narrative or character driven. These are just entertainment value games that you can pick up, play for a short amount of time, and then kind of move on with your day. And so there's something to be said for either of these games. Now, Star Wars Squadrons, I believe, is a strictly multiplayer-based game, whereas Madden 21 you can do it single player. I'm sure like Squadrons has like some sort of single player, but I bet it's kind of boring. Whereas Madden 21, you can play by yourself pretty easily and have a good time if you're into sports games.
I have a question, and I don't know if you'll be able to answer this, but does Joel have a microphone? Like a headset.
Not that I know of. He might, but if he does, I haven't
Madden
seen
21. You can't play a strictly multiplayer game without a headset.
But I bet that's a surprise. Czar voting for someone to play a sports game.
I mean, it's true, but at least you can play a sports game single player.
Exactly.
Here's what's interesting about this particular segment. We actually know the patron who gave us this game suggestion, but that's not always going to be the case. I feel like we should choose a game on its own merit versus like what we know about the patron for that reason.
All right, well, so here's the thing. You can play either of these games, like, by yourself, like, just fine. So with Star Wars Squadrons, you could just jump into a game and not talk to your teammates. I do that all the time in multiplayer games.
And I mean, like, that's kind of the thing is, like, if we're going off of the merit of the game, I have to admit that I'm biased in the fact that, like, I'm not super into sports games, especially Madden. But it's more on the side of I genuinely think that he's probably going to get more enjoyment out of Star Wars Squadrons. I just genuinely feel that way.
I disagree. I disagree strongly.
I've never heard you fight for a sports game before.
That's what's so great about this. I love it.
I know. I'm surprised too. But no, my simple what this boils down to is, when was the last time anybody complained about a Madden game? What you see is what you get. And I mean, if he was, bold enough to pick up Madden in the first place, he's probably going to have an interest in this game. Whereas Star Wars Squadrons, I don't know, there's too much gray room in there. Like, Madden is a solid, reliable, you know what you're getting pick.
Zach, what do you think?
Is he a Falcons fan as well?
Cowboys.
Oh my god.
Oh!
No, Star Wars then. Star Wars.
Star Wars. Based off of the team he likes?
Sus. Sus.
So
Mad sus.
we got a split vote here. I'm on the side of Madden 21 because I really think that this is a pick up and play like just whenever you want, and it's a lot easier to get in and out of a Madden game than it is like a Star Wars game. Who knows how long a dogfight in space can take.
Here's the thing. This is not the hill I'm willing to die on. If you guys would rather have Madden over Star Wars, I don't feel like putting up that much of a fight because I want to save that. Because, like, I'm already seeing the direction this whole bracket's going, and I want to put up a bigger fight later. So if you guys want to do Madden now, I am okay with that.
Madden
it is. I think that's a 3-1 right now. Zach, sorry, you're outvoted.
It's fine. We're fine.
Zach's like, why did I even come here?
When's Mario coming up?
This is a PlayStation.
We get there when we get there.
Look, I'm just saying, if this was a March Madness style bracket, I think we would have busted a lot of people's brackets on Star Wars on this one right here.
Czar, how about you start off the conversation on this next pairing? We've got Batman, Arkham Knight, and Resident Evil 2.
Resident Evil 2.
I said start a discussion.
End of story. Okay.
Why Resident Evil 2 over Batman Arkham Knight?
Truthfully, I actually love Batman the Arkham series, but in my opinion, Arkham Knight was just so far the weakest of that family lineage. I mean, it was way too heavily implemented on car mechanics to really, take away the immersion of being the Bat. Resident Evil 2, however, is honestly the best remake I have played to date. The graphics of the opening scene alone, just astounded me. My jaw was on the floor. And the gameplay following, it's just got so much, replay value. Like, you could play this game, and you have to play this game to get all of the story 4 times at least. And I don't know, it's just, in my opinion, the far superior game when compared to Batman Arkham Knight.
You know what? Those are great points. My vote's also for Resident Evil 2.
Zachary?
Woo!
Oh yeah, Resident Evil 2, no contest.
Hell yeah.
Czar, I was thinking the same exact thing like you. Or I was thinking the same thing as you at first. Batman Arkham Knight deserves to kind of really go up against Resident Evil 2, but you just brought up some amazing points. It's like, in my mind, I'm like, you know what? He's absolutely right. It's got to be RE2.
All right, so, I mean, it doesn't matter, but I think Batman Arkham Knight is a fun game. I don't know if I would necessarily pick it over Resident Evil 2, but I haven't played the remake of Resident Evil 2, so I gotta pick Batman Arkham Knight, but anyways, it looks like Resident Evil 2 wins no matter what, so.
Woohoo!
That was a pretty easy one.
I'm excited for this next round, too.
All right, so next round, we have Fallout 4, a classic, versus Day Gone, an instant classic. We actually have a pretty solid fight here. Peaches, do you want to start the conversation on this one?
Yeah, I'll get this going. My vote here is for Fallout 4. I know Czar would be better at explaining why Fallout 4, but here's my thoughts. Days Gone is an interesting idea for a zombie game that I think flubbed execution. And I think that Fallout 4 has a lot more deep game mechanics and more interesting story to follow than Days Gone has, which, since these are both kind of story-driven games with good gameplay, Fallout 4 isn't the best in the series by any means, but I would definitely play Fallout 4 over and over again before I even touch Days Gone.
I will second that opinion, mainly because the Days Gone guy just said, "Oh well, if you like Days Gone, then you should have bought Days Gone full price." Okay.
Oh yeah, fuck that guy. Yeah, no, Fallout 4.
Czar, do you want to expand on my Fallout 4 thoughts? Because you could definitely explain it better than I could.
What is there to say about Fallout 4? When it comes to Fallout 4 versus Days Gone, it's a matter of content. Fallout 4 has that category beat, compared to virtually almost every other game on this list. The content alone in Fallout provides hundreds upon hundreds of hours to do things. I spent probably about 100 hours just building my badass settlement in Sanctuary. Aside from that, you have unlimited gameplay, you know, through the choices you make, the missions you do, the people you decide to talk to, and the people you decide to kill, versus, you know, all of the RPG elements to this game, from leveling up your character to assembling a badass gun. There's just so much to Fallout 4. It is, to date, the only game I bought on release and then played until the sun came up the next day.
Rookie numbers.
So Fallout 4's got my vote.
All right, so that's a hard 4-0.
Also, kind of fuck the head developer of Days Gone.
Fuck that guy. I agree. Let's continue.
Yeah, continuing on. Go ahead, GP.
All right, next up, we've got NBA 2K21 versus Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Boys, we can't let another sports game win.
Sports. NBA 2K21.
Over Assassin's Creed? Are you kidding me? Especially the newest one about Vikings? Vikings are cool!
Assassin's Creed has gone straight downhill.
Vikings are cool.
Ever since Assassin's Creed, what was it? Started with an R. Retribution? Redemption?
I don't feel like any of that is accurate.
I don't know. Assassin's Creed, one that starts with an R, the last one about Ezio. Assassin's Creed has gone off of a cliff.
Revelation,
sure.
Yeah. Okay, no, I think that's right.
It has gone off a cliff, and you know what? I'm tired of Assassin's Creed just pumping out a game every year, like like a sports game.
Okay, now here's my thoughts on that. I agree with you that it's annoying that Assassin's Creed tries to put out a game every year. I agree, that's annoying. But I feel like the quality of the game is always there. I feel like it's hard to say that an Assassin's Creed game when it comes out is bad, because you're not comparing it to other games in general. You're comparing it to other Assassin's Creed games, which in the past have been masterpieces, like Assassin's Creed 2. So therefore, games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla is not a bad game. It's just not good compared to previous Assassin's Creeds. But it's still a damn good game. And I'll use Assassin's Creed Black Flag to kind of stand on that hill a little bit. That was one of the most fantastic Assassin's Creed games I've ever played. And it proved to me that they can deliver on these experiences. I don't want to see another sports game win in round 2 here, and I'm not going to try and hide my bias in this. I want it to be Assassin's Creed Valhalla. 100%. I think he's going to get a lot more enjoyment out of that than you're giving him credit for.
Apparently, JP is dying on this hill.
I'm not dying on that hill. I point at another hill. I'm dying on that hill.
That hill is just shortly like 10 feet away. That's the hill that I will die on.
That's the hill. Zach, what did you say?
The NBA one.
Why?
I'm just a shit on you.
Really?
Chaos.
Because everything you said, NBA 2K has sports. Yeah, that's why.
I think you pointed out Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I want to point out that it takes 4 hours to get to the fun part of Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Whereas like in NBA 2K21, you can start having fun pretty quick.
And then that fun ends in 3 hours because you're playing a sports game.
I don't know, man. If you like sports games, you can play sports games quite a bit. Zach, you with me?
It's true. I'm with you.
Okay, but my thing is, if you've got NBA 2K20 and you've played the shit out of NBA 2K20, why not expand your horizon?
If you have Assassin's Creed Black Flag, why won't you just play Assassin's Creed Black Flag?
Because of the shanties.
Oh, the shanties.
You would play because of the sea shanties.
But you do see what I'm doing, right?
I do see what you're doing.
Okay, as long as you see what I'm doing, all right.
Here's the other question that you need to ask yourself. Let's say NBA beat out Assassin's Creed Valhalla here. Would you think NBA would be able to progress any further in the bracket?
Do you think Assassin's Creed would?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm looking at this bracket right now, and I don't think so.
I think you'd be able to put up much more of a fight using Assassin's Creed Valhalla than you would NBA 2K21. I genuinely believe that.
110%.
I truly think we're wasting a lot of time on this. Whichever one it is going to lose.
Kind of thinking that same thing here. No bias, but Yeah.
All right. We need to make a decision.
Yeah, I already made the decision while you guys were.
Oh, you changed your mind. Okay.
Yeah,
I died on that hill. Good.
I'm not willing to die on this hill. There is a hill that I see in the future that I'm going to die on, and I'm ready for it. So I'll switch up my vote for Valhalla here.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, next up. Spider-Man 1 for the PlayStation 4, and then Spider-Man Miles Morales. Okay, show of hands, who here has played one or both of these games?
I played the first one and finished it.
I have no hands in the air.
Zach and Zara, that's a no from both of you. Okay,
when did they come onto Nintendo?
Damn it, Zach!
I got a Game Boy. They got Game Boy?
When JP buys an Xbox.
JP might buy an Xbox.
JP's been considering it, you come to think of it, but that's not the point right now.
Well, it's obviously got to be the first one, right? Unless the story is completely centered on...
I mean, Miles Morales is basically DLC for Spider-Man 1, you know?
That is a great point. JP, please tell them why this marketing was confusing.
Yeah, I honestly can. So, unlike The Last of Us, there's a story that goes on from the first Spider-Man that progresses into Miles Morales, right? But it's not as pertinent like that you play the first game to understand what's going on in Miles Morales. Now, Zach alluded to it. A lot of people were super confused about Miles Morales with its marketing. Like, was it DLC? Was it its own game? Like, what the fuck was this? It's its own game, which is why it's on this list. Truth be told, I think the first Spider-Man hits harder. I think the story's better. I think the fights are so unforgettable in the first Spider-Man compared to Miles Morales. I would rather see the first Spider-Man progress.
Okay, but Miles Morales is just a way cooler Spider-Man and way more unique.
I'll agree. I'll 100% agree with you on that.
And Paralysis is so freaking dope.
And Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie ever made.
I'll second that one.
That's one of my favorite movies, period. I love that movie. Amazing
Into
movie.
the Spider-Verse was great.
Incredible movie. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the game.
I think it seems like it's Spider-Man hands down, right? Like the first one, not the DLC Miles Morales.
Zach seemed like he was putting up a little bit of a fight for Miles Morales, but I think he was just doing that to be a stinker.
Well, yes, but also I only want to get a PS5 so I can play that. And I know it's on the PS4, but
you'll be able to play them both, but I'll give this to you. I'm not saying by any means Miles Morales is bad. It was a dope game. I just really enjoyed the fights a lot more in the first Spider-Man, but the powers that you get in Miles Morales are pretty cool. That being said, I'd rather see him play the first Spider-Man.
And while you guys were talking, I drew a happy little sun up in the corner.
I saw that.
Now that is world building.
All right, we are moving on to round 2.
Round 2.
Now, at the top of round 2, to kind of get back to where we were, we've got The Witcher 3 versus The Last of Us Remastered. Oof, that's a fight.
I know my vote.
I got my vote.
Let's hear it.
The Witcher 3, hands down.
Okay, Peaches.
I mean, it is...
My man.
It is absolutely one of the most acclaimed games, like, of our lifetimes right now. Like, The Witcher 3 is fantastic. It was good enough to virtually make a Netflix show about it. And the Netflix show was pretty dope, too.
All right, well, just to clarify your point there, the Witcher show is not based off of the Witcher games. It's based off the books, which the games are based off of. However,
had they not generated the revenue from the third game and all of the recognition and fame from it...
I absolutely agree with you there. The Witcher game is the reason why a series was able to be produced.
Zach, what do you think?
Yeah, JP, you already know what I think.
Why don't you just say it for the fans, though?
I'm saying it for Peaches, and it's The Witcher 3.
My man.
Hell yeah.
I honestly think you three expect me to be the outlier with The Last of Us.
I do. Yeah.
Yes, these are facts. Okay,
that checks out.
Here's the truth. I have not played The Witcher 3 yet. I understand.
What?
I know. Hold on.
I haven't played The Witcher 3 either, but, you know, I know better.
Czar's the king of recommending games he's never played.
I do my research.
You guys
I
should
look
discuss
at
educated
articles.
opinions.
That's fair. It's an educated opinion. That is fair. This isn't the hill I'm gonna die on either. And besides, I got outvoted, so it doesn't even matter. The Witcher 3, I mean, I would love for him to play The Last of Us if he hasn't before, because this game literally changed how games do narrative. But I've already lost anyway, so if it's The Witcher 3, then let's go.
So here's the thing. I was ready to die on this hill, and it seems like you're not going to make me.
I can't put up a fight. I've been outvoted. And even if it...
So, Peaches, what are you going to do now? I don't know. I didn't think I'd get this far.
Like a dog chasing a car. I just want to get to it. I don't know what to do to get it.
I don't know. Yeah. Oh my God, that's a great quote. I don't know what I'd do if I'd actually caught one.
All right. It looks like Witcher 3 is the one. Okay. Cool.
All right.
I'm happy.
All right. Next up, Madden 21 versus Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2. Next question.
Yeah, I agree.
Madden. No.
Over a game that almost won Game of the Year?
Cowabunga, brother.
Cowabunga, it is.
Sorry, I've given all of the support for sports games that I can at this time. Check back in like 6 months.
Physically unable to allow myself to support another sports game.
Okay, so Zach, where are you sitting right now?
I mean, the troll in me says to fight the NBA 2K battle, but the gamer in me says, it's Resident Evil 2.
All right. Sorry, Peaches. That's 3-on-1 for RE2.
All right, do we just want to make a quick argument for Resident Evil 2 over Madden 21 just to sum it up?
So Resident Evil 2 was Game of the Year quality. NBA 2K was a yearly release.
Madden 21.
I mean, swap the name, it's still the same point.
My point proven more,
That's
maybe?
that's how unforgettable this game is.
Yeah, exactly. Madden 21, unforgettable.
I meant forgettable. Damn it! Why do I say things? I hate me.
Hey, now, we love you, buddy.
Zach, I love your optimism. Up next, Fallout 4 versus Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now, I know we fought about this so I could get Assassin's Creed Valhalla here. I don't think it holds a light to Fallout 4.
Bruh. What?
Hey, that was my thoughts exactly.
You're the worst.
What's that? Okay, so this is like a Harry Potter quote where, Snape is all mad at Dumbledore for raising Harry to, just be killed at the right time. That's all you've done here with Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
No, that is 100% what we did, because, I mean...
You're basically Dumbledore, but, not the cool version.
But even Dumbledore cared about Harry or something.
Look, this is about principle. Fuck NBA 2K21. Fuck that game.
Neither game could beat Fallout 4, but we had to put one ahead just for name's sake.
Fallout 4?
I think it sounds like
That's
we're all
my
agreed
vote.
on Fallout 4. Does someone want to just give us a quick sum up as to why Fallout 4 over Assassin's Creed Valhalla?
Content, again. And plus, the Fallout recipe was just amazing. All the settlement building, all the guns, all the levels up. I refer to my previous argument.
Yeah, I think the main thing with Fallout 4 over Assassin's Creed Valhalla is that my opinion is that Fallout 4 is a much more well-crafted product, whereas Assassin's Creed Valhalla is a yearly product, and that instantly in my head just means lower quality.
I disagree with that to a point, but not to say that I don't think that it shouldn't be Fallout, because it absolutely should. I disagree with what you're saying to a point, but recognize that there are cases in which you might be correct. And I'm not saying a quality has not been taken out from Assassin's Creed. I'm just saying that you're comparing it to other Assassin's Creeds, not to other games, and I don't think that's fair. With that being said, Fallout 4 is the clear winner.
All right. And this next one, I think this one's going to be the hardest one.
Yeah, this one could be difficult.
And that's why, Zach, I think you should lead off the discussion.
Wait, Spider-Man versus Pass. Spider-Man. Okay, so Spider-Man is amazing. The fact that you literally feel like Spider-Man as you play it.
According to IGN.
In Red Dead Redemption 2,
feel like Spider-Man.
You really feel like a cowboy who's really struggling to find his place.
That's really well summed up.
Thanks, IGN.
Yeah, thank you, IGN journalist.
I don't know what to say here. I mean, I think I'd rather play Spider-Man because you get to play as a superhero, not like a sad cowboy. Red Dead is definitely the better story, but Spider-Man's definitely the more fun game.
Yeehaws, sadly.
Is that my
Sad
opinion?
yeehaw. All right, that's one for Spider-Man. Czar, what do you think?
Oddly enough, my original thought was Red Dead Redemption. And I mean, I know for The Witcher 3 and Fallout 4, I argued content. And I mean, if you were to simply do that with these two games, Red Dead Redemption would win hands down. But shit, I went through that goddamn emotional roller coaster, and so I'm gonna pick Spider-Man.
Really?
All right, we got
Red Dead Redemption.
We got two on a Spider-Man right now. Okay.
Red Dead is amazing. It is a flawlessly crafted game. It will draw you into the lifestyle. I mean, there was a South Park season, where at the end of the season they either had to, give up the souls of their firstborn 50 years later or stop playing Red Dead Redemption, and everyone's like, ooh, stop playing Red Dead Redemption? I can't do that. Is there anything else you want to bargain for?
Yeah.
Dormammu, come to bargain.
Dormammu.
Also, that's another point for Marvel, so Sony. Or shit.
Yeah, no, I think your uncle would have a hell of a lot more fun playing as Spider-Man. Plus, we are all, busy ass adults. We don't always have time to fully make a second life in the Wild West. So I think Spider-Man wins.
That's something I didn't take into consideration was the amount of time, too. Spider-Man is a solid playthrough, but Red Dead Redemption is going to become your life for the next month if you choose that game. I didn't even take that into consideration. That's a good point.
If we plan to make this a thing in the future, I feel like we have to disregard time and
well, we do to a point, and I think time is a serious factor versus Spider-Man and Red Dead Redemption. Although, I guess if you look forward, do you think Spider-Man could beat Fallout 4, or do you think Fallout 4 would beat Red Dead Redemption?
Hey, listen, we're in upset city right now, okay? Stop.
We don't.
Stop.
I don't want to make that argument either of looking ahead because, this is about which game is better. It really is.
Yeah, I don't think we should vote based on time. I think we got to vote on which game do you think is the better quality game that they would have more fun playing.
Well, now I'm kind of swaying back to Red Dead then, because Red Dead was flawless. All right, I'm gonna stick with Spider-Man though. I am just gonna stick with Spider-Man.
I get it, because it's Spider.
Because you're Spite.
Yeah.
Peaches, what's your pick?
I mean, it's Spider-Man. So that kind of this is big upset town right now.
I disagree.
But you think it?
I disagree.
But is it an upset?
First of all, it's not an upset because I just got outvoted, but I disagree. I think Red Dead Redemption deserves to go forward over Spider-Man. I enjoyed Spider-Man on such a profound level because he's my favorite superhero, and I get so excited about anything that's Spider-Man. But
the most requested birthday mascot.
You're darn right, because he's amazing. But we're talking about Red Dead Redemption 2, which gave God of War a run for its money in the 2018 Game Awards for Game of the Year. When it comes to sheer quality and enjoyment and passion, both of these games are fantastic, but I think Red Dead Redemption would have beat out Spider-Man in a normal fight. But you three already voted for Spider-Moon, and I think that's, to be fair, I'm not sad. I don't feel like I lost, if that makes sense. I'm okay with it being Spider-Man. I just wanted to tell you my opinion.
Yeah, and I think you got an argument to make about Red Dead, and I would have loved to argue with you about Spider-Man over Red Dead, because these are both games that you may remember. I think that they're both just average quality games.
Oof.
Yeah, that's my hot take, is that these games are just average.
I feel personally attacked.
Which, honestly, the fact that that's a hot take is hilarious. Because then, if anything, it should be a mild take.
Oof, that is a hot take.
Wow.
Time. Everyone time.
This is a conversation for another time.
Yes, yep. We don't have time. All right, moving forward to Spider-Man.
Entering the semifinals.
Round 3.
All right, JP, you want to announce it while I'm fixing the bracket?
JP's shook right now, guys. JP is shook.
I'm like, I'm
I'm a little bit triggered too.
All right, we are in the semifinal brackets. So up top, I'm not liking this fight. We've got The Witcher 3 versus Resident Evil 2.
Ooh, this could have some hot takes.
Zara, I'll let you get started on this.
Oh.
Yeah. My thoughts exactly.
Man. All right. I'm going to work through a little bit of a thought process here. And this is honestly kind of based off of my own personal experience. I love Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2 is fantastic. I cannot count the ways from gameplay, art style, narrative, to even just the amount of story you can experience through this game, and later on, even in the franchise itself. However, I have to force myself sometimes to play Resident Evil 2 because of how adrenalating it is. I don't necessarily know if I want your uncle's first playthrough to be like a forced adrenaline style, scream fest, because this game, there are some fast-paced moments, there are some spots you will die in complete frustration, and there's just a lot to it that, sometimes I have to build up the courage if I want to actually play this. I feel like The Witcher 3 should get this vote. I think The Witcher 3 should beat out Resident Evil 2. Simply based on the fact that your uncle could pop in and out of The Witcher 3 seamlessly most nights whenever he is free, and have more fun with that based off of Resident Evil 2, where you would specifically have to get to certain points before you can, end it for the night. So that is why I give The Witcher 3 my vote.
Zara, you could not have summed that up any better. I love Resident Evil 2, but the accessibility in this case goes to The Witcher 3. I agree. Zach, what are you feeling?
I mean, The Witcher is like one of those games where like you usually shit on subquests or like side quests and things like that. But, like, you could literally like spend an entire day just doing like a side quest and feeling like you've accomplished a lot as Gerald. Like you get like some good world building, character building. Maybe it's just a fun way to like design your character. I think The Witcher 3 it's a game of the year for a reason, and it definitely deserves to just keep going on.
You can do more unnecessary tasks for Yennefer.
It's a fair but not fair argument to pull the Game of the Year card, because Resident Evil 2 was also up for Game of the Year, and we should not be basing our opinions based solely on that.
Not solely, but like, what does that say about the game?
I agree. No, I agree.
Well, yeah, but it was a remake. It also had points taken against it from the get-go.
From our perspective, maybe, but if that were true from everybody's perspective, it wouldn't have been on the roster in the first place.
I think it might have been, though.
Sometimes you get Game of the Year like by default because nothing good came out. The Witcher 3 was going to win Game of the Year no matter what else came out. It's kind of what I meant with that argument.
That's fair.
Okay, that's interesting. I guess before we just keep arguing for no reason, Peaches, what do you think?
You already know what I think, man.
You already know why I'm
here. You
here.
are so biased. You are so biased.
Witcher 3 is my #1 game of all time.
Are we doing this entire thing just so Peaches can say, told you?
Told ya.
Witcher 3, I think, is the best game that I have ever played, on like standalone game ever, period.
I think we can put The Witcher 3 to the final round, but I do want to say there's a big storm coming.
Ominous.
I'm just saying, I didn't die on that previous hill, so I can die on a hill coming up here.
And my death was greatly exaggerated, brother. I'm ready to die on another hill.
JP, you gotta stop dying, dude.
I know, it's a problem. It's a chronic condition. You caught death. Like, damn it. Again? In the second round of the semifinals, we got Fallout 4 versus Spider-Man. Now, I'll take the lead on this argument. So, I know that I just gave you guys the whole spiel about why I absolutely love Spider-Man. Okay? He's my favorite superhero. The game is incredible, and any person would be lucky to play it. It's fantastic. I know IGN goes off on this stupid shit all the time about it makes you feel like Spider-Man, but in this case, you do. You do feel like Spider-Man. And the gameplay is flawless. Flying around the city is incredible. Some of the most memorable scenes I've ever seen in fighting came from this game. I adore Spider-Man. I think he should play Fallout 4.
What?
Yeah, I know. I didn't mean that directly. Okay, so on the other hand, everything that Czar has said thus far about Fallout 4 is absolutely correct. In its own way, it was a genre-defining game, because all of the Fallouts are, but we've had multiple of them, so we don't, think about them that way anymore. But Fallout 4 is fantastic. And I just don't know. I'm actually pretty torn on this one. Anybody else want to jump in?
Well, I don't know if you noticed, I did draw a knife to cut you with. And I'm going to hold I'm going to hold that there for as long as I need it. So, I've been rooting Fallout 4 the whole way, and I'm going to pivot to Spider-Man here. I think Spider-Man is an instantly fun game, whereas Fallout 4 takes some building, and I think that, being a fan of Spider-Man as a character, I think they really nailed the Spider-Man aesthetic and the web slinging and making you feel like Spider-Man. And so I gotta pick Spider-Man over Fallout 4 here, just based on instant gratification of fun.
I also think that fun cocaine thing is totally right, and I am Team Spooderman for life.
Ooh, are you Team Spooderman?
Sorry, Czar, I'm Team Spider-Man too.
No, hold on.
Hey, let Czar make his argument, see if he can sway you.
I'm listening.
Okay. Why do you buy a PlayStation?
Why do you buy a PlayStation? Exclusives.
To play Spider-Man.
To play Spider-Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, we're good.
Okay,
Next one.
Fallout 4, as freaking awesome as it was, it's come and gone. If you haven't experienced Fallout 4 yet, then, you may get to it on your own time, but if you're playing a game like Spider-Man, play Spider-Man first, then play Fallout 4. Or you could play Fallout 4 at the same time, because it's a game that you can kind of jump in and out on, but no, I gotta give it to Spider-Man here.
What?
All right.
Spooder sweep!
I know it sounded like I was teetering at first, and it's because I thought I'd be able to do more. But no, everything you guys said is right. It's got to be Spider-Man in this case. I love that game.
JP only goes for winners.
Seriously, the hype has come and gone for Fallout 4, and your uncle should honestly experience it. But he just bought a PlayStation. The first game that he plays... Well, I guess Spider-Man is probably about as old as Fallout 4, but still.
What a surprise.
So that leads us to the very final round. We have The Witcher 3 versus Spider-Man. By the end of this argument, one of these games will be the next play for our patron, who happens to be Peach's uncle. Does anybody need anything before we start this fight? Water? You got snacks?
I need a hug.
I got my Flamin' Hot Cheetos here.
He does.
I need a hug.
You don't get a hug.
Czar just had to vote against one of his favorite games.
I did. You know how much that hurt me?
You don't know pain yet. Just wait for this round.
Czar has had to do it twice. He had to vote against Resident Evil 2 and Fallout 4.
I did, and I betrayed both of my children.
You're the worst.
Boo on you.
Man, this is a really touchy-feely episode for me because we're talking about a PlayStation here. I've had to betray myself several times.
I don't even know why I'm here.
Nintendo? Nintendo?
You were my trump card. I knew you would come here, support with The Witcher 3 the whole way.
Oh yeah? Well, let's see what happens in the final round. It's time to start this argument.
Final round.
I feel like I'm stepping in within a minefield.
I'll take this over. All right. So, The Witcher 3...
We already know how you feel!
The Witcher 3 is the best individual standalone game ever made. All right?
Wow! By whose standards?
By all standards. All right.
What credibility can I give to a person who thinks Red Dead Redemption 2 and The Last of Us and all these other games are average when literally nobody else thinks so? Is my question. I think you're a little biased.
That just means that the bar to clear with me is so much higher, which should speak extremely well to how good Witcher 3 is.
Or how willing you are to openly show bias.
It's not biased because I have played through all of these games, and The Witcher 3 cleared the bar a lot better than Red Dead Redemption 2 or Spider-Man. I went into all these games perfectly open-minded, and The Witcher 3 is easily the best of them.
Can you jump in Red Dead?
Sort of.
Yes,
Okay.
but like it's kind of a drunk stumble jump.
Oh, that's funny, because you got some pretty good hops in Spider-Man.
All he does is hop.
Yeah, he's a spider!
He spends 90% of a fight hopping and 10% fighting.
The jumping is lame. Let's be real. It's the swinging that you're there for.
It's the fluid movement that you're there for. You're there to feel like Spider-Man. There has never been a superhero game created that has mastered fighting and navigation and movement as much as Spider-Man. Not a single game. And even more so than most of these games too, to be honest with you. I understand that The Witcher 3 is a wonderful game, but you can't give it like 100% in all these categories because there's some places where Spider-Man is just better. And I genuinely believe freedom of mobility and the quick-paced action is one of those things that it has over The Witcher 3.
Boys. Why do you get a fucking PlayStation to play Spider-Man?
I disagree with that.
I could play The Witcher on the Switch.
Oof.
I could play The Witcher on the Switch. I could play The Witcher on the Xbox. I could play it on the PC. You know what I can't play on any of those other consoles? Spider-Man.
The one thing we think about at night.
You think about Spider-Man at night?
What do you think about? Zars makes a good point. I mean, he's had plenty of chances to pick up The Witcher until now. If he's looking for a PlayStation experience,
He's been out of the scene for a while. He hasn't played any games for a while.
But as far as, can't go wrong games, I think Spider-Man is it. It's probably quick enough for him to get on to any of these amazing games that he already picked up, because by no means are any of the games we have talked about today bad.
no, not at all.
It's just that when it comes down to it, in my opinion, and we have been saying this for months, is that why do you get a PlayStation? It's to play Spider-Man. And so this is the hill I want to die on. I think Spider-Man deserves his first play.
I like how you're stabbing spiders.
Yeah, I see that too within like the list. Zar, those are all such excellent points, man. I mean, like, your uncle wanted to get into PlayStation for the full experience, and part of that includes Spider-Man. There's a place for The Witcher 3 too.
Think about the controller integration too. Like, Spider-Man was meant to...
I don't give a fuck about a controller. What?
Then you're biased!
This isn't about the controller. This is about the games.
If you can hear the noise from your crotch while you're playing, that's pretty cool. Spider-Man was designed around that controller speaker and that, like, stereo.
That is a dumb thing to do.
If you're not willing to take into consideration how the controller affects gameplay, then you're showing bias, man.
What do you mean?
Because that's a part of the experience.
What, the controller making a sound? I don't give a fuck.
Yes!
Yeah. Just like the Wii's gimmick was motion. The Switch is that you can...
And it's a dumb gimmick. It doesn't matter to the game.
You talk shit on my gimmicks one more time, boy, I'll slap the shit out of you.
If you...
Okay.
Let me explain something. If you are doing yourself a disservice if you're not paying attention to the way the controller affects games nowadays, because most of the technology that PlayStation has been focusing on when it comes to their consoles is how the controller enhances gameplay. And if you're not taking that into consideration, then you're not seeing the full picture.
Let me ask you, how does it matter that my controller is making sounds at me while I'm playing a game.
Immersion.
130%.
I have a headset on. I can't hear the controller.
It's not just about the sounds, the vibrations, the way it works within the game. It adds a new dynamic to Spider-Man that
It doesn't, though.
It does. It does.
It really does.
Czar, you haven't played it.
No, but I have I have played this. My old roommate had a PlayStation 4 and had this.
Fair enough. I will take that back. It adds nothing. The controller is just the utensil to play the game, and I refuse to take that into account.
Oh, that is so far from wrong with PlayStation.
Like, I'm not noticing freaking like the vibration when I hit the ball playing Rocket League in my controller. It doesn't matter.
Then you're doing yourself a disservice.
How does that amplify the immersion?
Hold on. We need Zach's vote. We know the vote tally. Now we need the tiebreaker. What Peach's uncle will play.
We've got 2 votes for Spider-Man and 1 for Witcher. It kind of depends on what Zach wants to do here.
I totally see your guys' point, and I've been arguing Spider-Man for like the entire time.
Oh no.
Spider-Man is one of the reasons you buy a Sony console. It's one of the most fun games you'll ever play. I'm told. I don't know. I never played it. I'm very sad about that. Thanks, JP, for inviting me over to play it with you sometime. Not holding a grudge or anything.
Hint, hint, wink,
Damn
wink.
it. We're in COVID season.
And I got my vax, bro. Where's yours at?
We've been in COVID season for about a year and a half now.
Don't remind me. I'm so depressed.
And so, I'm going to say this wholeheartedly. The Witcher 3 is one of the best games you will ever play in terms of setting, atmosphere, things you can do, sheer quantity of content, how to play, role playing, and just overall, it's a fun game to play. You feel powerful yet weak at times. I don't know how to explain it, man. Like, The Witcher is just magical. And so I think, I mean, you're really going to come down to your brother, but I think The Witcher 3, hands down, is the best game. When I saw this tier list, I saw Witcher 3, I was like, case closed, game over, #1 seed for a reason. But I also believe Spider-Man is definitely...
It's so hard to tell where Zach is here.
But my vote wholeheartedly goes with The Witcher.
We've got to fight.
Oh, shit.
I don't know where to take this.
So let's get off the topic of gimmicks and controllers. Let's talk about the games.
We've been off that topic. Peaches, take a deep breath. It's okay.
Now, here's the thing. The Witcher has the best gameplay, the best characters, the best narrative, and the best RPG elements a game has ever had. Spider-Man has great fluidity of motion and awesome. Its web swinging is, they nailed it. It does not have a great story. It does not have great combat mechanics, and it does not have great RPG mechanics. It is a good game. It is not great like The Witcher is.
All right. I got a counterpoint, and this may honestly sway your opinion. We'll see here.
I don't know.
You cannot convince a Peach.
This is a competition that I think you guys are putting way too much stock into, because naturally the following order of things, barring your uncle getting more games between gameplays, he's gonna play these games in the future. It's not like he's throwing these games away. He's just playing one first. And I think as far as a PlayStation introduction, to the console and overall what it means to begin his journey as a PlayStation owner, you've got to give it to Spider-Man. He's obviously going to play The Witcher 3 next, and it's going to be the best game he ever plays in his life, most likely. But it's not going to make him think of PlayStation. As far as overall PlayStation experiences go, you have to give it to the PlayStation exclusive. He will play that game next, most likely. The one that loses, which hopefully is The Witcher.
I think there's been a lot of disservice that's been given to Spider-Man for its mechanics. I think that it is above average in most of the categories where Peaches would have given it below average to average grades. What I will say also is that you are doing a disservice to this person if you're not taking the time into consideration. An average I don't know what the average time of playing The Witcher 3 would be. But for somebody that's trying to get back into gaming after a while away, they are going to be intimidated by this game, is what I am going to say.
Yeah, there's a lot to do.
There is.
It's not complicated by any means.
And that honestly is a testament to why The Witcher 3 is good. But this is not an average gamer we're talking about, who enjoys the challenge of getting to know the world. This is somebody who's looking for their new introduction into gaming after being gone from gaming for a while. I still believe that should be Spider-Man over The Witcher for multiple reasons. Does anybody have anything new to add to this conversation?
Counterpoint.
Here's the thing. You're talking about how it's exclusive and you're getting a PlayStation for the exclusives, whatever. He didn't have to get a PlayStation. He just got the PlayStation because it was available, right? If it was an Xbox available, he could have gotten that, but it wasn't available. It wasn't necessarily a PlayStation for the sake of a PlayStation. It was a PlayStation because it was available and it was new and he wanted to get back into it. And if you're reintroducing someone into video games, or you're coming back into video games, why not come back to the best story that you will ever play, some of the best combat you'll ever play, best RPG mechanics you'll ever play? Why not come back to all of this amazing stuff and then move on to, your Spider-Mans and other games?
Does he love a good story?
Everyone loves a good story, baby.
He likes the Star Wars movies, so it must not be that important. I'm just kidding. Toby.
Oh, God. You just pissed off a lot of people.
Don't make me bring up Kingdom Hearts, JP.
Oh, then man, Kingdom Hearts. I agree that the story is shit.
Exactly. So the story doesn't have to be great to, be enjoyed. However, I think a good story goes a long way, and a great story, whew.
I'm still Witcher 3 train.
And I still have this knife here, JP. I don't know if you remember. I have stabbed Spider-Man a lot of times.
We need to find a way to make a compromise here and pick a game, because we're running very, very short on time. And I know you're hyped for The Witcher 3. I understand the hype for The Witcher 3. But, does he have any plans on getting a console in the future? Like a new Xbox? Because you said that, it was just because the PlayStation was available. I mean, the thing is, what we know about PlayStations is, if it is available and he has it, PlayStation has some kick-ass exclusives. And The Witcher 3 is clearly going to take a lot of his time. He's got a big stack of games, so who knows what he would get to beyond that. Do you think your uncle will put a full committed playthrough of The Witcher into his, schedule as opposed to Spider-Man?
I think Spider-Man is a lot easier to fit in the future than it is right when you're starting. Witcher is something that is, honestly, it's so backlogged because people just won't give it a chance. And I think just giving The Witcher a chance will get you hooked back into games in general.
But let him find that passion for games again before you put him into a big person game. A very adult game.
All right.
Not just one in graphics, but also in decision making.
Okay. So before I say this, I want to say something else. Peaches, I feel like you were incredibly selling Spider-Man short. I think saying that Spider-Man doesn't meet the expectations means that any of the games that it's beaten to get this far in the bracket hasn't either. And I feel like you rigged this game from the start to do The Witcher 3. I think you knew exactly what you were doing here.
Collusion!
I really
didn't
think
rig
you did.
anything.
Hold on. I'm not done. I will change my vote to The Witcher 3 with the acknowledgement that you are severely underselling Spider-Man, and that I know this was rigged from the start, but I will change my vote and we will see how this goes. So as of now, you win. The winner is The Witcher 3. Like I said, I acknowledge here the bias and the rigging, and I acknowledge those things.
Oh God, the entire bracket went black.
Oh, what did you do? Oh no, we broke gaming.
No, I fixed it.
We have just broke the fourth wall.
Oh, dude, I'm going to get so many angry messages from my friends about this one. This entire episode is just going to be one cesspool of angry comments after the other.
Look, all right, before we close, I know what I said about Spider-Man, and I stand by my opinion of Spider-Man. It is a good game. A good game is average, in my opinion. Does not mean that it is not worth playing. It does not have the quality that Witcher 3 has.
We'll leave it at that.
I play PlayStation for a day and look where it gets me.
To the accusation that I rigged this, you all looked at this, said it was fine. We all agreed that Red Dead Redemption and Witcher 3 were the best games on this list. Now,
Rigged.
We didn't realize the level of collusion before we started.
Rigged.
do you think that I am smart enough to rig a game list like this to get Witcher all the way to the end? I am not.
I think you like to play dumb so that you can make claims like that is what I think.
If I had put Witcher earlier on, like if I put Witcher where Red Dead Redemption is, I think Witcher would have won. Like a lot easier.
All right. We need to wrap this up because this has been a long battle, but fine. He's going to play The Witcher 3. And it's so weird from the heat that's been produced from all these arguments because I'm not even mad that he's playing The Witcher 3. It's just like, it was a lot of hard work to get to this point. You better tell us how he enjoys the game because if he doesn't give it as stellar of a review as you did, you owe us an apology.
That reflects badly on us.
I mean that. I mean that. If he doesn't say this is the greatest game I've ever played in my entire life, and it makes everything else look like a big pile of poop. So, after all of that is said and done, Joel, congratulations, you are going to be playing The Witcher 3.
All right.
I'm done. I'm tired. I'm leaving.
I'm salty.
You're always salty. Now, to be fair, I'm a little salty too.
I'm going to save this, and I'm going to send it to you to put on Twitter once this episode goes up.
Okay, in the meantime, for everybody out there, let us know what you thought of this segment. I mean, I know we were about to kill each other, but that was also a lot of fun.
I can agree with that. I love arguing about games.
That was also a really good time, I'm not gonna lie. And we have spent way too much time doing this, so it's time to get out of here. Joel, congratulations, you're playing The Witcher 3. Everybody else, we will see you in the next episode of the Game Tea Podcast.
You just got your game tea.
Bye.
Later.
If you like what you heard today and you're looking for more ways to get your game tea fix, check us out on Patreon. With bronze, silver, and gold tiers starting at $2 a month, there are several incredible rewards you can receive for supporting the show, such as a follow from us on Twitter, access to a monthly Q&A session, an invitation to our private Discord server, and even bonus episodes of the podcast only accessible to patrons. Your donations will be used to make the show even better. The link to Patreon is in the description with our social media, so go check it out. Once again, thank you so much for listening to the Game Tea Podcast.